Please, kindly mute your mic. Kindly mute your mic so that we can all hear ourselves clearly. Zainab, welcome. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you. Thank you. Please, if your mic is not mute, kindly do that so we can hold yours. So, Zainab, kindly mute your mic. Sorry, guys, so that we can all enjoy ourselves. Yeah, that's very important. Thank you. So, now, yes, you guys are all correct with the definition for the website design. I can tell you for sure. For website, yes, you're all correct. So the real thing there is website, having a website is you putting yourself out and trying to sell something or trying to communicate maybe a product or a service. Do you understand? I'm putting in everything I'll be saying here is in the simplest term. I'm not using any terminologies with you or something. So permit me at some point, I will definitely put it in the simplest term, right? So, and website is for you to show your product, show your services to people. When people want to reach out to you, you want to have a very wonderful, beautiful, optimized, and converting place for them to land on. Do you understand? It is a very simple thing. It is as good as you saying that you went for a conference and you want to get other people, you want to get an hotel to lodge, to refresh, to relax and all. There when you're going for a business conference, you definitely need to match up with the standard of where you are going to. And of course, if you are getting or service apartment. Let me use service apartment. That's very good. When you get to service apartment, but the fact that it's a service apartment, you want to be relaxed. You want it to be attractive. When you get there, you can easily snap, post, do videos and showcase, because the interiors are beautiful. Not just because the interiors are beautiful, but also for the fact that you have everything you need to make yourself comfortable in that service apartment. Do you understand? Now, why I'm relating it to service apartment is because most service apartments, standard service apartments, are always very, very attractive and catchy. When you get to a service apartment that you've not even booked for, it looks like you don't want to live there. True or false? That is the way it actually, looks. That's the feeling it passes on to you. So now, coming down to the one, how website actually works before design. This is you putting yourself as a website designer. If you want to be a website designer, or if you have already started and you feel like, okay, you want to learn more, you want to advance. The way websites works, you need to always, first thing first, you need to always put yourself in place of the customer or of the client. Reason because you are not just coming to drag and drop, to just come and design, pulling colors together, putting layouts together, and you just put in text and you publish everything and it displays. Boom. No. There is something we call structure. And before you even get to draft your structure, you need to understand your website. I mean, who you want to build the website for, what that website wants to do. Do you understand? What the person wants to sell, who are the person's audience. You need to understand all these things. This is a normal, it is even a normal rule in marketing. Do you understand? It is a normal rule in marketing, because if you want to sell, you need to understand who your audience are. You need to understand where they are. You need to understand what they like and what they do not like. Another thing you need to understand is what your competitors are doing. So if you are if you want to build a website for an e-commerce platform or an e-commerce company, you need to check other existing e-commerce companies or businesses or brands that have a website. See what they have, see what their front page looks like, see what their features, the function of their website, see what it looks like. Then you will be able to, structure yours also. Because if you just feel like you want to build from your head alone, I'm telling you, you will never be able to meet up. You can't put yourself in position of assumption. You cannot assume for your clients. You cannot assume for your clients. You have to make sure that you understand what your clients actually want and who their audiences are, right? So another thing is, at this point, what website really is, it's for you to explain a product, build trust, and it also helps guide an action. So website is not colors or fonts, like I said earlier. So if you're having a website, your website must be able to tell everything about your brand. A website must be able to tell everything about a service or about the product. I'm sure you guys are getting it. So if you are with me, can you just drop your emoji or send a react emoji if you are following? Guys, okay, well done, well done. Awesome, great, awesome. So I'll recap on that. A website is a communication tool. It explains, it builds trust, and it also what? It guides action. Please make sure you take note of this. So when I show you some existing website that I have built, right, you are going to see some of these things that I have said so you will understand better. Now, the core formula of a website is very simple. Just like I said earlier, it passes a message. Your website needs to pass a what? A message. Once your website passes a message plus structure plus action, then that means that you are taking a customer that lands on that website through a journey. You are taking a customer that lands on the website through a journey. Do you know that if you believe this, a lot of people believe that website is about fancy, fine interface and all. No. I have a website, a friend that we both did digital marketing together. At the same time, he still came back to be a student under me, right, at Vega, where I was lecturing. So at the end of the day, I discovered that, he still has a sales page. A sales page is a website, but we call it a sales page because it is just only one page. It is, just a static page. Later, I will explain what that is. I don't want to deviate too much. So what I'm trying to say now is that I realized that this particular guy have a website, and the website is not beautiful. In fact, if the first time I landed on the website, I was like, what is this? But because it was beside me, I did not talk. But if I tell you that when the guy opened the back end of his website for me, I was amazed. I was wowed. What did I see? The website was very functional. Functional in the sense that he has, made a lot of sales from that website. What did he sell? I think he's selling one of these Muslim products. That's what he sells. He sells one of these Muslim products, and one of there's one that looks like a ring. I think the digital text bar. I don't know if you understand what I mean. I'm sure the Muslims here understand it. There's a ring like a digital button something. Yes, that's part of the product he sells, and he has made millions. This is not that I was being told. No, I was there. I was just trying to troubleshoot something for him at the back of his website, and that was where I saw his sales record. And the website is not beautiful. It is not attractive. But what made him make so much sales with that website was because the message he was passing on that website was so permit me to use the word crazy. Like, it is captivative. Do you understand? The message is very, very, very captivative, and it holds down a client or a customer once you land on the page. So what I'm trying to say here is that this particular website of a friend had message to pass, and he properly structured it, and finally a call to action, maybe buy now, maybe learn more, maybe pay now, an action, a word that prompts you to click on the website. That is what we mean like an action. So an action was taken. So he had these 3 levels properly fixed, but it was not fancy. And that still, still with that, he made sales. Like, I'm telling you, he made millions of sales. Yes. So that's that. So what I'm trying to clarify here is the core formula you need to have on your head is message plus structure plus action. Once your website delivers these 3, you are good. Any website you are building for a client that delivers these 3, you are good. Don't forget, and quote and unquote, I am not saying your website should not be fancy. or when you build a website, it should not be fancy. No. But we are not focusing on fancy, 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 because at the end of the day, your client wants his website to drive sales. Your client wants his website to drive what? To drive sales. That is exactly what he or she wants at the end of the day. So why this matters? If users are confused, they will leave. That is, if they get your website and they are not understanding why they are there, or they could not see any reason why they are there, they will immediately leave. Do you understand? They will what? Immediately leave. So also, good design removes thinking. Yes, if you have a proper message, a structure, an action, and you also have a good design, right? It removes thinking. Maybe, oh, will this work? Look at his website. He just wants to collect my money, this and that. It removes different thinking from your head as a user. So whenever you are designing as a website designer, you have to make sure that you put yourself in place of a customer, or of a client, or of a viewer, rather, a user that would use that website. Simply because, think of it like, if you get on a website, what would you want to meet on that website? If it is you, what would you want to meet, or what would you want to do on that website? How do you expect the website to pass a message to you? So there are a lot of things that you need to look at. We would not just jump to designing the website, but we must understand the user interface, the user experience also. Do you understand? So great designs also guides action. If you have a very great, lovely, fancy interface, beautiful design, it guides the action of the visitors that come to your website. So let's come to page 6. So another website, the website structure comes first. Aside from the one I explained above, there are 4 major pages that every website we have. Are you getting it? There are 4 major pages that every website must have. You cannot rule them out. Number 1 is the home, the about, the services, and the contact page. So the home page leads to giving direction, the about leads to giving trust, the services leads to giving value, and the contact leads to action. That is, you want to call, you want to send the emails, you want to submit your form, or a contact form, and all. Do you understand? So user flow, this is the simplest explanation ever. From home to service, from service to contact, and from contact to action. So which implies that when a visitor lands on your home page, on your website, the first page of your website is always called the home page. Every first page of a website is always called the home page. Now, don't forget I mentioned something like sales page. At the end of this class, I'm going to just briefly explain what a sales page is. Do you understand? So, because you might land on a sales page at some point and feel like you are totally on a website. No, the sales page is always a static page. Some people call it sales page, some people call it a landing page. So it is always one page, a static page. So we don't really call it a website. Do you understand? A website has more than one page. If you're on a website and it has, like, you can move from point A to point B, that is from another page to another page, that is a website. But if you cannot move from another page to another page, it is not a website. It is a landing page, or probably a sales page, right? I will show you an example. I have one. Yes. So the next page says what we are going to be doing today. In fact, not just today, from today till the end of the class. No coding, no plugins, no pressure, but we will use plugin, don't worry. The plugins that we are going to use are not complicated plugins. They are simple and basic and major, what English again? Necessary plugins that you must know as a website designer. They are necessary plugins that you must know as a website designer. So, and there is no pressure. No pressure at all in any way. But there are 3 things I need from you. I need your commitment, your concentration, everything you need to make sure that you understand everything about this class from point A to point Z. Because at the end of the day, honestly, I want to help you secure like at least your first 2 3 gigs. Yes, your first 2 3 gigs. And I don't mind even giving you my portfolio to get your job. That is if I see that you are very serious. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If I see that you're very serious and you understand this, and you also, there's no way, you have to also practice. So I'll show you at the end of the class. I'm going to show you how you can practice, and you know, not today, right? But there is something I'm trying to work on so that you can, if you get access to it, you all will be able to probably practice without needing to pay for a domain, right? But I'm going to, by the end of, maybe by the end of tomorrow or Wednesday, I would have gotten access to it. And yeah, that would be very, very good, right? But let's be positive that we'll get access to that. So, like I said, once you are calm, you are committed, and you know, you focus, you understand this 5 days class. I am telling you, reach out to your friends that you build websites. If they ask you to send samples, I will give you the past project that I have done, like the website that are live. Yes, I'll send their links to you. You tell them you are the one that built it. And once you're able to get a project, I will guide you to work on it. So which means that I am not asking you for any penny to share the profit with you or anything. Yes, but don't worry, we will do it together and you will deliver. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Who is excited? If you're excited, just let me see your reactions. Let me see your reactions. Excited, yeah. So this is really going to be awesome as long as you are committed. The real truth is, if you do not put in the work, you will not get results. But you have to put in the work. Honestly, that is just the real fact. You have to put in the work. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Okay, before we come to the assignment, now let's go to our web, what is it called, browser, and I'm going to be sharing with you. I think those are some of the major talking that I need to do. Yes, those are some of the major talking that I need to do, which I have just done. So now the first thing you need to know or do, right? If a client approach you, the first thing you need to do or know if a client approach you. Now, don't forget that I said that I'm going to make sure to cut quite unnecessary areas and just give you the straight real business. Do you understand? The straight like real business. Now, the first thing that you probably want to know, or you probably want to do, in fact, not probably, you want to do, is the fact that if a client reach out to you for your website, oh, I want to build a website, Ayola, okay, your next question should be, what do you sell? Yes, what do you sell? Who are your audience? Are you clocking that? So I'm going to put this in a notepad and send to you questions you need to ask your prospect. Yes, questions you need to ask your prospect or your client whenever you are trying to sell your website service to them, or they come to you for a website design project. Once they tell you they need a website, okay, what industry are you? If you get their industry, okay, what are the products or services you render? You need to ask questions. Don't assume. Oh, when I started website designing, I assumed and it backfired. Honestly, I'm telling you, it backfired crazily, right? So don't assume. Ask questions. What do you sell? What do you do? Do you have a physical store? Do you want to collect, do you want to accept payment on your website? Because there are some websites that are just basic websites, which lead us to types of website. There are types of website, basic websites, there's portfolio websites, there is e-commerce websites, right? I think majorly that's the classification. There is a financial platform website also. That's a fintech website. So basically, if we are to narrow down to industries, there are different type of websites, but categorically splitting into 3: portfolio websites, business or corporate websites, and then e-commerce websites. So automatically almost all the e-commerce websites will accept payments, which means that like Jumia, for example, is Jumia, Temu, Alibaba, Konga. You know, when you buy something, you can pay. You have to input your card to pay. So, and then for business or corporate websites, there are websites that they just want to tell who you are. Like they will just want to tell who that brand is, what product or services they sell. You can find all information, complete information about them on their website. That is business and corporate or corporate website. Do you understand? And then for portfolio website is majorly for creatives or fashion designers or photographers, videographers, like we digital creators like this now. Yes, we professionally we have a portfolio website. So, and I'm going to be showing you mine also. I also have one. So those are the major categories. I also have corporate website that I've built, an e-commerce website. But before I will show you samples, let's talk about domain. After those questions I mentioned that you need to ask your client, the next thing you will also ask is, do you want a .com or a .com.ng or .ng? Now, what are the differences? .com is a general, like is a communications, which implies that every business can use it, right? And there is no restriction. Do you understand? There is no restriction to maybe countries that can view it or something, right? So even if you are using .com, if you want to restrict your websites to certain countries, yes, you can do that. But I don't want to go deep into that. So .com is mainly for commercial purpose, commercial use. Do you understand? .com.ng, that ng is, it means Nigeria. Do you understand? So it means that it is commercial, but kind of narrowed to Nigeria, which also automatically tells you that any brand using .com.ng, originally it is a Nigerian brand. Did you understand that? Originally, it is a Nigerian brand. Then .ng also, it is the extension that carries, how do I put this? For the fact that it's still also a Nigerian, right? If you are using .ng, it means that it's a Nigerian-based domain. Do you get it? So, but most times, I really don't use .com.ng or .ng, except if the client cannot pay for .com, because .com is actually expensive. So right now, it is not as expensive as this before, but when dollar, you know, and everything changed. So you can see what you are seeing here on your screen. .com for the first year on Domain King is 17,000 naira. Excuse me, is 17,000 naira. And yearly, I think yearly will now be maybe 20,000 or no, 20 something thousand naira. Yeah, yearly. So, but this is for the first year. But if you are buying .com.ng for your clients, first year is 5,999 naira on the domain on Domain King. Yeah. So the next year is like I think 7,000 naira or so. Do you get it? So you can see it is more cheaper, right? And .ng, I think .ng is where is it? .ng is 17.5. Can you see? It wasn't as expensive as this before, right? But the way the whole thing is changing. Now, this is Domain King, one of the platforms where I buy domain. It is a Nigerian-based company. Yes, it is an African-based company. Let me read it that way. So, and this is one of the platforms where I buy domain. Now, domain is domain is attached to a brand name of the brand to complete, like to give you a valid link that people can easily visit. So what we mostly do is whatever your brand name is, then we'll just attach the domain to it. Do you understand? I'm trying to explain this in the simplest form so that everybody will clearly understand. And please, you can jot down your questions because we'll definitely have sections for questions and answer. So kindly make sure that you're jotting down your questions. So let's say, for example, okay, now I just clicked at this point, like I want to type a domain. The reason why you're seeing all this pop up is because I have searched for these stuffs. Can you see? Or you can't see them. I can see on my screen that you can't see them. So now, let's say, for example, there's this company in Kadek, right? Kadek is into agriculture, like agriculture. Yes, let me just put it like that in one word, agriculture. So, and they want a website. So I have just typed Kadek because the full name is long. The full name is very, very long, I'm telling you. So we have to shorten it to Kadek. So now I can decide to say Kadek, that Kadek.com, sorry, Kadek.com. And when a client, you finally, decide with a client, or a client finally decide with you that, okay, let's work on this project. This is the brand name. If they said they want to use .com, tell them, okay, you are coming. You should go and check if the domain is available. So now you can see what you are seeing here. It says what? Kadek.com domain. It is taken, right? Can you see this? The domain is what? The domain is taken. So which means that you cannot buy the domain. The only domain that we have, which is available, is kadek.ng, kadek.net.ng, and some other ones. So before you tell your client or send an invoice or anything, first of all, confirm the brand name. Right? That is the name. So if you are not using kadek.com, let's look for another brand to work with. I'm just trying to show you that you can search. This is at the point at which you have to search, right? So let's say our brand name is Sheyi. Sheyi is into cosmetics, right? So which means a beauty industry, kind of. And yeah, I think I'm right. So I'll say Sheyi beauty store. Let's put this. Sheyi beauty store, right? So I didn't put maybe .com.ng or .com or anything. I just typed the name and then click enter on my keyboard. So now it will give me all the available domain. Can you see this? So sheyibeautystore.com is available. sheyibeautystore.com.ng is also what? Available. Now let's check for a popular domain. Jumia. Oh, sorry. Not that. Jumia. Can you see Jumia.com is taken? Jumia.net.ng is also is available. Now let's do Jumia.com. I know it will be taken. Can you see? Now what Jumia did here was that because they are a popular brand, do you understand? They bought all the major necessary domain that is connected to them, which is like .com, .com.ng, .ng. If we check .ng now, we might not see. Let's check. And that is how strong brand does. Can you see? So they literally bought everything. So you can see that now. If we say we should try another person, okay, what do you have? Let's see. Okay, Chukudi Enterprise. So chukwudienterprise.com.ng is available. And .com is also available. Then .ng is also available. So you understand now, you need to clarify this with your clients. That's the first thing first. So another thing that we will now talk about after your domain, if you have purchased the domain, is your hosting. So hosting is like your Google Drive or your Apple Cloud, the storage. That's the simplest way for me to define hosting for you. You don't need to crack your head. There's nothing difficult here. And we don't need to make learning difficult for ourselves. No. So hosting is like a storage device, maybe like the storage device on your phone where you store your videos, your pictures, data, your documents. The same thing to iCloud. iCloud, that's all those things there. See, they are hosting. That is where you save all those informations, your document and all. So don't let anybody use English to scatter your head. So, but in website design industry or in the circle, hosting is what we call it. It is also referred to as storage. Do you understand? In a layman understanding or simple understanding, it is referred to as what? As storage. So please, in this class today, grab everything I am saying because they are basic things that you must know before we start designing. If you do not know them, there will be issue. Do you understand? There will be issue if you do not know them. So I've explained domain, I've explained hosting. So what I want to show you now is how to create accounts on any of this platform. It is free. So if you want to buy the domain, if you want to buy the hosting, now if you buy a domain and if you do not have hosting, you won't be able to build a website. Yes, you won't be able to build a website. Do you get that? And if you have hosting and you do not have domain, you still won't be able to come up with anything, because even if you can build a website inside your hosting somewhere, you have to host it on a particular link. Do you understand? That will be public and people can search and it takes them down to the website or to the page. Do you understand? So now, before I will create I'll show you how to create a account or an account on this platform. That's any domain or domain and hosting company. There are some other domain and hosting company aside from Domain King. There is TrueHost. Do you understand? There is TrueHost. There is WooGoHost. WooGoHost is now officially Go54, and there is also Namecheap. Okay, someone is saying that he uses Nilify. Am I correct with that pronunciation? So yeah, that makes sense too, though I have not used it before, right? And the reason why I have chosen these three people, is it 3 or 4? 4. Domain King, TrueHost, WooGoHost, and Namecheap. It is because of their customer service. Let me confess to you. It is because as a website designer, even if you are troubleshooting at some point, maybe you have issue with a client's website and you're trying to, resolve it. At some point, even you as a website designer, even when you know what you are doing, you get frustrated. This is just the real truth. Do you understand? I'm not scaring you, but I'm just making it clear that every work has their difficulties. Do you understand? So, but when you have a very good support, you will not have problem. So like Namecheap now, I use Namecheap to host my international clients. That's, I buy the domain from them and I buy hosting from them. And most times I do not buy domain from Namecheap, but I will host it on Namecheap. Do you understand? So I'm not going to be through those deep internal sections right in this class. But let's just go straight to using TrueHost. So because TrueHost is, yeah, it's very simple and easy to navigate. I'll show you how to create an account on TrueHost, right? Because I have a website that I have just integrated. I mean, a domain and hosting that I've just bought on TrueHost, and which I'll be building on that website very soon. So not today actually, but that's why I just want to use this particular place for us in this class. So the whole case now is, if you want to have an account, it is very, very free. So you can see here that says register or login. So when you click on register, you can easily sign up with your Facebook, or you sign up with what? With Google. Do you understand? That is, if you have a Gmail, you can easily just use your Gmail. So I'm going to be using Gmail. Yes. And if you don't have, I'm sure that no matter how you have a Gmail, if you do not have a Gmail, you won't be in this class. So we can just sign in with Gmail, and a pop-up is actually showing, right? A pop-up is actually showing. I know you cannot see it, but let me share the whole of my screen now so that you can see the entire screen. Okay. So I'm sure you can see it now. Okay, so can you see the entire screen now? Okay, great.
Yes,
So,
sir.
all right, great. Awesome. Thank you. So now, because I have different Gmails that are logged in here, right? I have different Gmails that are actually logged in. I am going to just use, let me use this one because I've not used this account before to create any TrueHost. So it's going. Let's wait for it. Yeah. Let's hold on. It's loading, it's loading, it's loading. Okay. All right. So we can continue. Just scroll. Just say what? Continue. Okay. All right. So link initiated. Please complete the registration form below. They should still want me to complete form for God's sake. Oh yeah, no problem. Let's do. We have to do this. No problem. Let's do. I'll just use my default address and everything, everything. So marketing SMS. No, I don't want marketing SMS. They might charge me. So you have to answer this simple arithmetic. 11 now. 9 plus 2. Is it 11 or it is 92? Can drop your answer in the chat box. So if you say it's 92, let's start 92 there and let's. Okay, so you have to also scroll down and tick this box that I have read and agree to the terms. Sorry, you know now we are in Lagos, so I'm sure you should not be surprised. I'm sure you should not be surprised. So yeah. So let's come back to where we are. So you can just what click on register. Since we have already filled the necessary information. Eh, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? What are they saying? Let's check. Okay, the following. Oh, the number is already in use. Okay, let me use another number. Just hold on with me. Let me use another number. Okay, 0905820. Sorry, 279531. Okay. Okay, okay. Click on, oh, what's happening? You must accept terms and conditions. Okay, no problem. Let's do that. I was too fast. I don't want to receive emails like that. They will disturb you with emails. So let me just turn it off. It is optional. Are we still here again? Why? What's happening? The password you entered is not strong enough. Ha, voila. But yeah, now let's do password. Where is it? But we sign in with our Gmail now. Don't mind them. They are just stressing us. They just want to stress us this night. Okay, another thing is very simple. Let's sign up with another okay. If at least you understand this now, but I want to believe that we understand this. If you totally log in, I mean fill in the informations and you also set a password or your Gmail has a strong password. But if you're having this issue, if you're having the same issue, what you should just do is come back to what was it called? Registering without logging into your Gmail. Because when I logged in through my Gmail, I did not have that issue. Actually, I did not have the issue. So you can just click on create new account and just fill all this information. Don't bother to say you want to use this, except if you know that your Gmail has a very strong password, so you will not experience so many issues like that. But once you create your account, you can just, you know, come back to successful login page and then let's log in. So that's what I'm just going to do now. I will just sign in with my Google because that is what I used. That is what I used. So yep. Let's see this. Okay. Okay, it's loading. So let's just hold on. It's trying to initiate. So can you see automatic sign in successful? Though that's one of the simplest, That's one of the simplest and stress-free or fastest way to log in, sha, anyway. So now, can you see the interface? If you log in on your hand, you might not see all of this. In fact, you will not even see all of this. What you will see is the normal home page. Do you understand? Where you can search for your domain. What you will see is this normal page. Do you understand? Because you've not gotten anything from them before or something. So if I now want to buy, take notes, please, before you buy any domain or hosting or anything, make sure that you create an account, you sign in, you are inside your account. Do you understand? You are inside your account before you make payments. Though, even if you do not do that, they will ask you to create an account at some point, but so that you will not get distracted and the whole thing will not, get scattered. That is why I'm asking you to create an account first. So once you come down here, you search for the domain, right? So let me just say, for example, I want to use, this particular brand. I want to buy a domain and hosting to build a website. So I will search for the name here and click on search. So now it will give you something like this. So just scroll down. Can you see? It says what? All of us foundation is what is available. So .com is even cheaper here. It is 17,000 on this place for first year, but it is 15,000 here for .com. You can see. So once you see your domain that you want to buy, right? You can just say what? Add to cart. Do you understand? Add to what? Add to cart. Now, when you click on add to cart, you click on what? Continue. So let's just hold on while it takes us to the next stage. Okay, that is loading. Okay, so you can see now it has, brought us down to the next stage. Now there is something, a notification that you are seeing here. This notification says what? No hosting. Click to add. So which implies that if you buy this domain now, it's just like you are buying what can I use to make that example? It is just like on a norm, when you buy GoTV, they will tell you that you have 30 days free subscription, right? But let's assume that they don't give us 30 days free subscription. You have to subscribe when you buy. So you buy a domain, you bought a GoTV decoder and then you didn't bother to subscribe. How will you watch the programs, or how will you get to watch the channels and all those stuff? So you need to subscribe to the GoTV, then to be able to now, get access or get value for why you've gotten it. So that same thing applicable here too. You got a domain and you do not have an hosting. You do not have a hosting, then that means it is of no use. So what you need to do in one word is click on what? Is click on this button. Do you understand? No hosting, click to add. Just click on it, right? Now, it will now bring you here. This is the hosting. There are different type of hosting, right? There are different type of hosting, and there are some other stuff say that are called SSL. So SSL is just like a security key to help your domain, to protect your domain. Did you understand? But on a norm, when you buy hosting, you get free SSL for 1 year. Do you understand? That's why you see every package of your web hosting here, right? You see the features, what you will get at the end of the day. So now the real truth behind this is that if you are a website designer that already understands, though I would say I'm not supposed to explain this level yet because you are just getting into the system, but let me prep your mind ahead that if you have a web hosting, you can see the section that they said host up to 10 websites or host 10 websites. That means that you can use this particular one hosting. If you already buy the hosting for a single client, and let's now assume that a client comes again and they say they want to build a website, you don't need to buy a hosting for that client again. You only need to purchase a domain. You will now connect the domain to this existing hosting that you already have. That saves you more money. and that equals to more profit. It saves you money and it equals to more profit. I'm just opening your ear to the business side of it. So let's come back. I know that some of us, our ear is already, getting wide like that. But let's come back. Let's come back. So now, the web hosting package, you have starter package, you have web hosting pro, you have web hosting unlimited. Now, this web hosting starter package is for basic website. I would not lie to you. If you have a website that where you need to upload so many informations that are heavy and all those stuff, it will slow down the website, and you won't even be able to use your hosting for multiple websites. That's just the real truth, right? So, but if you are a pro website designer that you already understand how these things work, right, you can get this package of web hosting. So you know that at least you have, it can contain, this hosting can take like 50,000 visitors monthly. It gives you free 50 gigabyte SSD storage, another wonderful benefit like that. You can create unlimited email account. Same thing on this lowest package too. You can create unlimited email accounts and all. So, and it has free daily backups. It has free website builder. As time goes on, you will get to understand all of these features. The truth is that you cannot get everything this night or in this whole 5-day class, but everything we are doing will take you from point A to point Z to build a complete website. Do you understand? So if you now want to buy an hosting, we will go for this minimum one. Do you understand? We will go for this what? Minimum web hosting. So now, when you already decide that, okay, this is what we are going for, we'll come down and say what? Order now. So when you come to the next stage, they will ask you, use a domain already in my shopping cart. The first thing we did was to add the domain to our cart. Do you remember? So now they know that we already added a domain to our cart and it's still in our cart. So we are now buying an hosting. So this automatically implies that we want to connect the domain that is in our cart to the hosting that we are buying now. Do you understand? So I will just go for this option. But if you are just trying to connect or trying to purchase a new domain, you click on register a new domain. If you want to transfer domain from another registrar, don't worry, just leave these two, because they are a bit, deep, just a bit, but not to take our time. I won't touch that. So majorly, we already have the domain in our cart, right? So let's go ahead. This is the domain. Automatically, it has, fetch out the domain, and I will say what? Use. So I'm sure you're getting it, right? If you're getting it, can I just see your reactions? If you're following, can I see your reactions, guys? So, okay. So now they've brought us down to the summary page. Do you understand? This is the summary page of everything you want to what? You want to buy. Are you getting it? This is the summary page of everything you want to buy. We want to buy a domain, right? And we also want to buy what? An hosting. Oh, sorry, we've not gotten to the final summary page. Now, choosing billing cycle, we can buy the hosting monthly, we can buy quarterly, we can buy semi-annually, we can buy annually. Do you understand? Now, this annually, you can say in brackets, free domain. It means that if we are buying this annually now, we are not going to pay for the domain. Do you understand? That is what it's supposed to mean. Oh. So let's continue and let's see. Though they've done it for me before, Sha, anyway. I used to do that. But let's see if they still do that. Let's see if they still do that, actually. Because I feel like .com is 15,000 naira. Would they really leave 15,000 naira like that? So, but the last one I did, which is .com.ng, they did. I didn't pay for the domain. Do you understand? Yes, I didn't pay for the domain, actually. Yeah. So let's click on continue. Let's click on continue. But they should not go on auto deduct from my account because my card is connected. So, but let's go there first. Ehen, I know that they will add it now. They will add it. So you can see this is the total summary page. Do you understand? This is the total summary page, right? So, and your web hosting is 18,000 naira for a year, and domain registration is 15,000 naira. Do you get it? So let's see what else that they are adding now. Why it is up to that amount? I think they've added some things because the total summary here is what, 33,000 naira, right? So have they added something else? Guys, help me to calculate. Oh, okay. Okay, it's true. They are not cheating us. I thought they are cheating us. Since my head is going somewhere, but I like money very well, so I don't want to. I was trying to get that calculation straight. All right, guys. So the total is 33,000 naira. So now let's enter the business side small. For a basic website, right now, the amount that you charge or beginners charge for a basic website now, you charge nothing less than 100K. If worst come to worst, basic website of 4 pages, it will just have the home page, the about us, the service page, and the contact page. You are not doing anything more than that, guys, and you will charge nothing less than 100K. If worst come to worst, like final worst now come to worst, you are charging 90K. Now imagine that you spent 33K. Do you understand? Imagine that you spent 33K and you still have a profit of about how much? About 57,000 naira. Am I correct? Guys, am I correct? Yes, right? Okay, thank you. Awesome, great. So imagine that calculation and you are able to now build 10 websites in a month because you are a starter. Do you understand? Because you are a starter, you can now build what? 10 websites in a month. How much will you be making? Do the calculation. Is anybody following? Are you following, guys? So you just have to do the simple math. Number one thing you need to do in this life is get the skill. Once you get this skill, you practice, you understand basic. You don't need to be perfect. See, now you don't need to be perfect before you get a real job or before you get a project. Yourself, create a profile for yourself as a website designer. The kind of content you should also put out. You need to know all these things so that you will help yourself to sell and get clients. And don't forget that you need to start with people around you. Tell people around you that the people that you know that, oh, they can get this kind of service or they can, tell them that this is what you do. If they tell you bring the past website you've designed, don't worry, just reach out to me. Just reach out to me. And for sure you are covered. Do you understand? So if you need questions, maybe the client is actually asking you questions that you might not be able to respond, quickly forward to me. If I did not respond immediately, beep me, like try and dial the call. If you did not get to reach me, you can get to reach Sheyi, right? Sheyi is my oga. You are seeing her on this call. She is my oga. Sheyi is my oga. She's on the group. Okay, Favor is asking, how do I get your WhatsApp contact? You can pick it from the group, either Sheyi, you can reach out to Sheyi or me. If you are not reaching out to me fast, like I'm not responding immediately, because most times I put even my PC right now is on do not disturb because I want to ban out every notification you get. So I might not quickly pay attention to it. Do you understand? So you can reach out to Sheyi. Sheyi knows how to reach out to me. Do you get? She's my madam. Now my guy at the top. Now everything she be with that. Don't mind her if she's looking so small but mighty. So that is it. So that is it actually, right? So I want you to, from this night, I want you to start thinking, like just do your calculation. There's something one of my boss usually tell me. He said, Daniel, it is not a matter of you trying to get the big project, $1,000, $5,000. At some point, it will get there. But if you want to sell fast, think of the small people, think of the people around you that will buy, that you will sell for in low amount, and you will deliver. Don't forget, if you are selling in low amount, does not mean that you should not give value. You will give value. But if you are selling in that low amount, they will be able to buy fast, and more people will be able to come fast. They'll be able to refer you because they know that, oh, if A is giving this thing for 120,000, 180,000 naira, and it is still the same thing. You do your calculation properly, and it is still the same thing that you can give for 100,000 naira. Please just do it, because don't forget that you are just starting. But right now, any basic website is not less than 100K. That is the minimum, the barest minimum I will charge. But lowest, because you are just starting and you want to build your portfolio, you can charge 90K. Considering this calculation that we did here, and if the client is saying, okay, I want to use .com.ng, just be happy, be thanking God inside you, because .com.ng, you will not spend more than, worst come to worst, for the first year, maybe 5. That's .com.ng. And if it is hosting, you already know that, okay, hosting for 1 year is 18,000 naira. 5 plus 18,000 naira. That's like how much? 23,500 total. That's what you're spending, if I'm not wrong. Right? That's the amount you'll be spending. And then you charge what? 90 something thousand at most. Least price you charge 90 something thousand. You have awesome profits to make. Do you get it? So if you are able to sell to 10 people, if you are, put yourself on a target, even before the end of this class, start telling people that you build a website. If you put yourself on a target, reach out to like 20 or 30 people. Let's say you reach out to like 30 people, at least, except if you are, don't let me put it that way. At least you have at least 3 people to reach out to you. Yes. To like, okay, you start creating awareness for yourself. Do you understand? So you get what I'm trying to do in this class. I'm teaching you the practical, logical aspect, and also trying to open your eye to the business side. Because I'm not teaching you for teaching's sake. I want you to understand it, and so you can also start working and you make income. You make serious money. Do you understand? So that is why I'm trying to bring in the business side alongside with this stage where we are, and that's how I'll be bringing it to you every day. When we do the whole thing, like 80%, we'll quickly enter the business side of it, so you will understand that aspect too. So thank you for following up with that. So now on this place, what I would just need to do is to like check out, to go ahead to make payment. You can see they will ask for your information. So I already have my basic information here, which is the billing address. So they will not ask me again. And I would just select Visa or MasterCard, Paystack. I prefer using Paystack. I don't know. I will just check out. If I say checkout, sorry, excuse me. If I should say checkout, you can see they've given me invoice, right? They've given me an invoice, right? And then I'll just say pay now. So if I click on pay now, it will just give me a pop-up to maybe transfer. Do you get it? Let's click on pay now. Can you see the pop-up, guys? I'm sure you can see the pop-up, right? So you can see this. Then I can just say transfer. Once I transfer to this bank account, automatically it is successful on my end. It will also sync and they will acknowledge it. But please don't save this bank account. Don't save it, because anytime you want to use Paystack, if you're familiar with paying online, they change the bank's account that comes up. Yes, it is a system that has been integrated. So it's not like a permanent bank details. So once I pay and everything is successful, then they will redirect me to somewhere that is called client area. Did you understand? They will redirect me to somewhere that is called client area. But I'm not paying. That is why it is not redirecting me there. So let me just take you to that client area. Okay, my service. So come to service, and this is my service. So now this is the client area. So the client area now, they will see that what your domain, and that's where you will see that your domain and hosting is now what is active. If you successfully make payment, please take note. If you successfully what make payment, that is where you will see that your domain and hosting is what very, very active. Now, there is something that you must understand, and this is where we'll be stopping tonight. Don't forget that this is the domain we wanted to buy, but because we've not made payment, that's why it's saying pending. So let me just delete. I can't delete it. Yeah, but no problem. Let's leave it. They will not auto charge me because I didn't use my MasterCard. So now let's assume that this is the what's it called? The domain and hosting that we just bought, right? And we paid for. Did you get it? We paid for. So now, once you click on this, okay, there's something I wanted to put to you, which is very, very important. Once you come to the client area and it says active, you can't start building that immediately. Do you understand? Reason why you can't start building immediately is that domain and hosting has to propagate. They used to call it propagation stage. So that implies that the domain and hosting has to sync together, like to connect, to come together as one. Do you understand? So when they are sending information to each other, they can receive it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you understand this, please, guys, send an emoji. If you have a question, just jot your question. I'm going to attend to it. Okay, great. Well done. Well done. Well done. Awesome. So, that was where I was. So, the propagation stage, they work hand in hand. So once they can synchronize, they will become one. And then the domain can receive from the hosting, and hosting can also what give to the what to the domain. Do you understand? It is just like shaking your hands together. You know, when you shake your hand and rub your hands together, they are helping each other. Do you get it? So that is it. I believe that illustration is quite clear. So when you click on the domain and hosting that is active now, you will come to this area. Where are we before? Let me take you to where we are before so that you don't get lost. So I told you that after you successfully make payment for the domain and hosting, it brings you down to the client area, and where you see that this is active. Another thing I need to chip in for you is that the propagation stage takes between 24 to 72 hours. But mind you, that 24 hours, most times it doesn't even stay up to 24 hours. Let me just say like few hours. Do you understand? If you buy the domain and hosting from the same account, like from the same domain company, just like we did now, it will not take long. But you can just give it like maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. Do you understand? At times, it might not even be up to that. Did you get? So, but what I do is, once I buy a domain and hosting that I want to work on for a client, I will just make sure to successfully pay. Once I pay, I will just leave it. Because automatically they know that I bought the domain from them and I also bought the hosting for them. So they will do the proper connection they need to do very fast. Did you get it? So that's that. And yeah, once we do that, we will now click on the one that is active. Once you stay like maybe after a few hours or something, you log in, you come back here and you click on this. So you click on the domain and hosting you buy like this. I've just clicked. So let's hold on why it takes us to the next page. Okay, it's loading. It's loading. Yeah, so once it brings us down here, there is something that we need to understand. Can you see it says what? Web hosting starter, it is what? Active. That means that your web hosting is active. Now, the web hosting that we buy, that we bought, it has a disk usage. That is the memory. I was telling you that it's still the same as storage. So now, out of this 30 GB now, 30 gigabyte, I have only used what? 5%. Do you understand? I've only used what? 5%. Now, the bandwidth usage is more like, I think it's actually like related to speed, right? So this is unlimited. Do you understand? It is unlimited. So no issues like counting and the rest of the thing. So you just have to know all these basic things. Do you understand? Now, under your hosting, you can create multiple email accounts. You know, I said that. So if I check mail accounts now, you see, I think I only have just one account there. Yeah, particularly for that brand. Oh, okay. Okay, I have two precisely. I have two. Can you see? So I'm going to explain this panel, but not tonight. That will be tomorrow. So and from here we log in into the C panel, and that is where the real business starts from. So I think I'm ready to take your questions and answer. Thank you so much for joining tonight's class, and which is our first class of the week, and it's been very, very, very awesome. I believe you all also enjoyed it. So let's just stop here, because if we continue, my brother, my sister, we don't go come up for a year. We don't go come up for a year. So thank you so much for joining tonight, and I'm open to question and answer. Osheyi, thank you. Let me hand over to Sheyi.
All right, Daniel, thank you so much. That was a very interesting and an amazing, in fact, insightful session. I mean, it is another thing to know how to design, and the most important part is for you to know how to manage your funds, how to manage the amount you are charging your clients or your customer. And you just opened our eyes to that. So thank you so much. I am really, really, like, I learned a lot. So I'm sure you guys can also relate to how much I learned. So you guys should please appreciate our facilitator rather, by clapping, dropping your favorite emoji. Let's appreciate him. That was a very wonderful teaching. I mean, getting this for free, guys, it is a lot. Please, let's appreciate him. Now we are moving into the question and answer section. So if you have any question, we are going to be taking 2 to 3 questions. So please, if you have any question, raise your hand so we can attend to your question. Or if you are shy and you don't want to ask question, you can drop it in the text box. I'm going to be reading it out. So do you have any question, guys? Daniel, I have a question.
Go
Can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. I can hear you.
So you said something about when you want to pay, like you mentioned something. I'm going to like pick that out. You said pray that your client wants .com.ng, like they should want a Nigeria domain. So my question is that when your client wants .com, like they don't want a Nigeria domain, can we add that to like the charges, or we are not meant to add that to the charges? So that I want to be clear on that,
Okay,
because we're
thank you
like
so much.
we should
Yeah.
pray that the clients want Nigeria based domain. So I want to be clear on that.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. So, let me quickly answer that. Now, the thing there is that I hope you can hear me clearly, everybody. So the
Yes,
thing
we
there
can
is
hear
that
you.
there are some clients that, before they come to you, they've gone to make inquiry here and there. A lot of people have even mixed up with their head and all. Do you understand? So getting to you, it's just like they already know, and you want the fastest way. They already know what they are looking for, but they just still want to hear from you. And you yourself, you have to be very logical, right? While talking to the client, having conversation with the client, you should be able to predict, oh, if the client will be able to pay this amount or not, right? So what I usually do is I get on a call with my client. Once I get on a call with my client, from talking, please, we are hearing a Shay, there's a feedback coming from your end. Okay, great. So from talking to the client, right? From talking to the client, I will be able to predict if this client will go with this offer. As I'm talking and getting the features, what the clients want, and this and that, I'm already calculating how much I want to charge in my head. It can be very funny, but that is the real truth. So if a client is going to pay for .com, okay, I would clearly state, okay, do you want a .com or .ng? There are some clients that they will give you a free hand to explain to them the difference between .com and .ng, and they will not tell you the one they want. There are some that they do not want you to explain because they already feel like they can't even pay for it. And there are some that they don't even care. Either you explain or you don't explain. They'll just tell you this is what they want. Tell me how much it will cost, and I'll give you the budget. But now, for the sake of okay, most of those clients that they will feel like you, it depends on how you work. Actually, I won't lie to you. It depends on how you work, right? You can approach a client and just tell them, okay, this is .com. Just recommend .com for them straight. So when you recommend .com for them, you know that you give them a bill of maybe 150,000. You know you've already calculated that, oh, you are using .com. Do you understand? And you've added it to the whole budget. Straightforward. You know you don't need to go back and forth. Now, there are some that, while you're talking to them, they already tell you like, Eloni Jale, how much last, this and this, you are bargaining and all. So that is where you now bring out the clause to them. If they cannot pay for .com, then let them do .ng. Now, maybe you are now asking them to do .ng does not mean that you are reducing the budget that you've given to them. So even if you are going to slightly reduce it, you know that you are still on a very strong line that yes, you are not losing. But the reason why I say you pray is because so that they don't stress you. Because all of us, we always pray for clients that will not stress us, but at the same time, that will be so profitable. You understand? So I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, you have. Thank you so
Okay, so
much,
let's.
Nana.
Okay,
Can I
great,
read the question
great.
or you just answer them
Yeah, you
directly?
can read the question, please. Thank you.
Okay. Please, can you guys mute your mic? I don't know. I'm coming. Okay. So the first question we have here is from Samuel Obawole. He said, thanks for the lecture. The first question is it possible to be a web developer without knowledge of graphic designs? How do we design the landing pages or web pages? Then the second question reads, is this class limited to website development or it also applies to app development? Did you get that, Daniel?
Yes, I clearly get that. Thank you very much, Shay. I clearly get that. So, first question to recap: is it possible to be a web developer without knowledge of graphics design? How do we design the landing pages or web pages? Awesome. Now, it is very, very possible to be a web developer or a website designer without the knowledge of graphic designer. And please know that web developer is different from web designer, or web development is different from web design, or web developer is different from web designer. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I hope you are getting this. What was it called? Samuel. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You can unmute your mic. I hope you are getting what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say. Yes.
yes,
So
but
there are,
can you please elucidate more on the difference between web developer and web design? I thought we are the one building the website. We are still the one designing it, right?
yes. Now let me tell you something. Okay, yeah, great. You can mute your mic so that I can explain to you. So now web developer mostly deal with code. Like developers develop from scratch. Honestly, if you go and check even the dictionaries, that is they are they like the architecture, they deal it is mostly with codes. If you're a web developer or web development, it is code. Do you understand? But a web designer, it is clearly that we are building without a code. In between, there are some websites that we can just use advanced customizer, code customizer, just copy paste from ChatGPT. Maybe we want a particular feature, we don't even know how to write a code, but we just prompt, copy the code and paste. Do you understand? To just achieve that goal. But when you're talking about developers, it implies that you're talking about people that does HTML, CSS, JavaScript, front end and back end development from scratch. That is what it simply, in fact, that is what it simply implies when you are even relating to somebody outside. But when you say a website designer or a WordPress website designer, they know that you do not do with code. You talking about WordPress or is it Gotbone? But what is it called? There are other CMS tools that we use. Do you understand? So Um, I hope I am answering that questions correctly. Let me come back to that question, please. I'm coming. Just a few seconds. I'm trying to go up. Okay. Okay. So now coming back to your question, can developer design without knowledge of can they develop without knowledge of graphic designer? Yes, very well. They can, because every colored element or every colored something that you see on the front end can also be done with CSS code and HTML. Do you understand? They can design the front end with CSS code and HTML. They already understand how to do that coding to bring the visual design out. Do you understand? And make it interactive. But for we like this, that we are website designers, I mean web designers using WordPress, right? We use templates, pre-made templates. Did you get? So most of these things have been designed. It is just for us to edit the color, edit the font. Do you understand? But at some point, if you really, really want to enjoy website design, I mean, it is good if you have a knowledge of graphics design, because you'll be able to manipulate a whole lot of things like twerk. Is it twerk or tweak? A whole lot of things on your page, maybe on your website page or on the landing page, if you have the knowledge of design, because that will be working together. Do you understand? Like me now, I have the knowledge of design. In fact, the first thing I did when I get into the tech space, or should I say tech space, when I started whatever tech career it is, what you will call it, I started as a graphics designer. Do you understand? So if I'm designing, I can still I work on AI product, I work on web design. Once I'm even designing, I will go and work on my design very well first, maybe on Canva or using AI prompts or using Photoshop. Then I will now resize it and bring it back to the website and make it functional. Do you understand? But you can as well do without that. And 100%, you can as well do without what? Do without that. Just make sure that you just apply a normal common sense of, understanding colors, understanding font, and you get what I'm trying to say, the font styles and all. Then understanding structure and the layout. That is majorly what you need to do. So to answer your question in one word, yes, you can, develop a website clearly without having the knowledge of graphics design, right? So you said, how do we design the landing pages or web pages? Don't worry, we'll get there. From tomorrow, we'll get there. Yes. And question two, is this class limited to website development, or it is also applies to app? No, it is just to website. It is just to website development or website design, whichever you want to call it. But I hope I've stated the clear difference between
Yeah.
those two.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
very much. Thank you very much,
All
sir.
right. All right. Great. Great. So
Thank you so much,
yeah, we have
Daniel.
other
Thank you
questions
so
here.
much. Yeah, we have just two more questions, and that will be all for tonight. Let me just quickly read it out. So
Okay.
the second question reads, I have a question, sir. What if I want to get domain from Domain King and hosting elsewhere? Do we have more sites on where to get hosting? Just like we have a lot of variables for domain.
Yes, 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 very well. You see, from this domain king, you can buy domain from here and host it on True Host, or you host it on Google Host, which is now Go 50, Go 54, Abi? Yes, Go 54. You can also buy domain from any of these three places and host it on any of them. They are interwoven. Do you understand? You can easily do that. So just a direct answer, yes. Capital letter, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel. I'm going to read the last question that we have today. It reads, how can I market my product online? And is there anything like Updates web, yeah.
Okay, how can you market your product online? There are so many ways you can market your product online. Did you understand? There are so many ways you can market your product online. One of the ways is you having a proper optimized social media profiles for yourself. So depending on the kind of product you sell, if you're selling a digital product or you're selling a service, you just need to have your social media profiles ready. Do you understand? Even if you do not have a website yet. And if you have a website, you can have the product listed on your website and you run sponsored ads, to drive people, to drive traffic down to the website for sales or whichever channel you are using. Do you understand? So, yeah, that's that. And then the second question is, and is there anything like update web? I do not get that. What, from which angle? If you're saying update web, thank you. You can help me clarify that so I'll get it straight. So Zainab asked, can I renew a free domain name? Do you have a free domain name? You cannot renew it. Well, let me ask you, do you have a free domain name that you did not pay for when you get it? Is that what you're trying to say? So those two questions, I think, okay, you did not pay for it, and I don't know, you don't need to actually pay for renew, or has it expired? If it is a free domain, then it is free for life. I think I know what you're saying. Yes, I've seen there are some platforms that give you free domains, and that is part of what I was saying at the beginning, that I will try and see how to get some of the platform, if I can get some of those platforms, because some of them have crashed, right? So, but if I can still get some of the platforms, then I will just let us know. Do you understand? Okay, so David, it means, can a client update the web from his or her phone by adding new products and prices to them? Yes, they can very well. If the website is connected to e-commerce platform, if you're using an e-commerce platform, so there is a mobile version for e-commerce. They just need to log into the e-commerce app, and they can easily upload and edit prices or description on their phone. Did you understand? I have clients that do that. Yes, for easy access, instead of them having to log into the whole of the back end of the website, and getting everything getting scattered. So they just use the app of for e-commerce, or WooCommerce rather. WooCommerce. Is that clear, David? So that is clear, right? Are we going to learn that, sir? Yeah, yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, no, that's like e-commerce website. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. No problem. We get there. So yeah, I think, do we have any other questions for me?
Daniel, I think that should be all because of our time.
Okay, no problem. So thank you
Yes.
so much, guys. We go again tomorrow. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Lee, for hosting us.
Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you so much, our wonderful facilitator. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you all for appreciating. To everyone that made this possible, thank you. And tomorrow is another day to learn more about websites. So you can leave the call now, but make sure you come tomorrow and join early, because there's going to be a giveaway as it happened today. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful night rest. Enjoy your night and see you tomorrow. Good night.